Good morning and welcome to this magnificent Sunday morning. It's a beautiful day here in northern Utah, and my name is Michael Benjamin, and I'm here to welcome you to SATYA Sunday Live, which is something that we do every Sunday live here on multiple platforms, and we've been doing so for many years, and we're excited to continue to do that for as many days as we're blessed to be here. And so welcome. Thank you for joining us. If it's the first time that you're finding us, we welcome you, and we're enthused that you have found us, whether you're finding me live here at this moment or whether you're finding us throughout the week or on one of the replays on YouTube or wherever or whenever you find your way to us. I know it's perfect, and I know it's divine, and I know it's the right time for you to hear our message. And we have been coming to you live for, I don't even know exactly how long, but 10, 15 years. And we have been bringing forward messages through the SATYA Center in Ogden, Utah, the top of Utah. And many years ago, we started broadcasting live on multiple platforms to reach more people. But our intention is to help you to transform, to expand in consciousness, and to thrive in this human journey, to thrive here on earth, to be at peace with what is, and to help you allow others to do the same. And my name is Michael Benjamin. I am a mental science practitioner. I've been studying the mental sciences for nearly 30 years, and I have been putting it into practice consciously and mindfully for the last 20 or 25 years. And I bring today's message to you with enthusiasm, knowing that I have seen it demonstrating and have been living mindfully and manifesting mindfully for decades. And I, continue to do so on a regular basis, and we know that we can't be what we cannot see. And so it is so helpful to become mindfully aware in the moment, in this particular moment of the thoughts that we're having, and knowing, and I'll get more into this shortly, but knowing that thoughts create, right? We've heard it from teachers far and wide for millennia. And I'm going to get much deeper into that here in a few minutes as we get started. So thank you for joining us here. We are the SATYA Center in northern Utah. My name is Michael Benjamin. I'm a mental science practitioner, and I'm here to share my message with you today on mindful manifesting. As we get started, I always like to evoke the moment. And so if you will join me, perhaps close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and become mindful that you are in the presence of the divine, and that this is not optional. That right where you are, right where I am, there is a living power, a divine essence. I call it life force energy. That this divine presence also is designer, first cause, that which has many names, the infinite, the universe, universal presence, just to name a few. And what I know is, as we turn within, as we tune in mindfully right now to our breath, we expand our awareness that there is a living presence, that which is beating our heart. Involuntarily, our heart is beating at this very moment. Involuntarily, blood cells are creating and being created, multiplying. Involuntarily, the governing laws of the universe, gravity, is keeping us connected to the chair, which is connected to the floor, which is rooting us into the earth. All without us having to do it. Right now, as we speak, the earth is spinning on its axes. We don't have to do it. It's happening involuntarily. So right where I am, right where you are, right where we are, there is a creative force for good that is ever expanding into time and space, giving to itself multiplicity, giving to itself the experience as all things, from the trees to the birds to the fish to the creepy crawlers to our four-leggeds, pollen, stars, sun, moon, earth, water, fire, all of it. As we speak, it is giving to itself this experience, coming into physical form as that. I know and accept that today's message is one that moves out into time and not only raises up my vibration, but touches you in some way. Perhaps you're inspired to share the message with another. So I know that as this goes out into the ethers, as it's moving into storage onto YouTube and the many platforms, the affiliated New Thought Network, wherever you're listening to this, wherever it's coming to you from, I know that it's all in time and it's divinely perfect. And so as we take a breath and prepare to come back in to this time-space continuum with conscious awareness of what you're doing and where you're at, I ask you to give yourself permission to be here now, knowing that there's nowhere else to be and nothing else to be doing at this very moment than to be here now. I give myself permission to be here and now. Take a breath. And as you exhale, begin to open up your eyes and to just come back into this time space. Thank you. Thank you. And we're grateful for New Thought Media Network and all of that they're doing to bring messages 24 hours a day around the clock, creating a platform for mental science practitioners of all types to bring messages into time to be helpful for other people, to be helpful for people to learn, to serve, and to grow. And so thank you to New Thought Media Network and the affiliated New Thought Network and the SATYA community for being here, for showing up. Thank you. So again, if you're joining me right now, my name is Michael Benjamin. I am a mental science practitioner, and I have been in practice with this for nearly 30 years. We have had countless opportunities to begin to learn more about today's message, which is mindful manifesting. And so as I dive into that, I just want you to know that I know that none of this is optional. Really, I mean, you have choice to become mindful about what you're thinking about. You have choice to become mindful that you can choose to change that. Of course you can. That's the specific. But generally speaking, you do not have a choice as to the fact that you will have some 8 to 13,000 thoughts today, that your mind is going to be working all the time, tirelessly, because it's never tired, right? I don't know if you've noticed that about yourself, but from the time that we wake up until the time that we go to sleep, our mind, and we're having a continuous stream of thoughts. Yes? Yes. The other thing that's not optional is our relationship to the spirit, to the divine essence, to the essence of life, that life force energy. We are by nature spiritual. We're spiritual beings having a human incarnate. We're spiritual beings that are coming into time and space, thickened into this body temple. And we are evolving from the time that we were a little baby to the time that we are here today. This is not optional, right? So the evolution of the spirit through and as us is the journey of the divine experiencing it as me, is experiencing it as you. And so whatever shape and whatever form that looks like, as we evolve, it's experience as us. It really isn't optional, right? So the point that I'm getting to, folks, is that the creative medium is always working through us, and this is not optional. So my encouragement to you is to become mindful that right where you sit, right in this moment, right now, even now, there is the creative force that is always on and never off, and that it's literally operating through me and as me. And what that looks like is in the 50 trillion, 30 to 50 trillion cells and subatomics that we are, those cells and subatomics, the protons, neutrons, and everything is literally connected through the spiritual essence, through the spirit, the light. And it's coming into being, and it's always moving forward at the speed of light, bursting into time as that. And one of the things that becomes really, really powerful for us is when we realize our relationship to the collective consciousness, into the field of that which is materializing as our life, as our unique and individualized experience, our unique and individualized expression. The other thing that's tremendously freeing is to know that each and every day we get to choose again. Every day is a do-over. Every day we get to choose, what am I packing from yesterday into today? And so for the purpose of today, mindful manifesting, I want to touch on what manifesting is. I want to touch on what is mindful. I want you to have an experience with mindful manifestation or mindful manifesting, knowing that you do in fact have the power to choose, to be mindful and aware, to be mindfully aware of the thoughts that you're having right now. And you get to choose if those are the thoughts that you want to see come to fruition. And so through the power of belief, we can think a goal into becoming. Through the power of belief, we can think a goal into becoming. Yes? So the question is, what are you believing? Right? So when you have the opportunity to close your eyes and tune in to what you're projecting or what you're thinking about a year from now, 6 months from now, a year and a half from now, whatever that is for you, what are you visioning? And when you vision that, what's not optional is that those visions create thoughts, and those thoughts create a chemical reaction known as an emotion. And that emotion is energetic. And energy is everything, and everything is energy. And so as we get to, I'll use the term play, we get to play with this to begin to experience this for ourselves. And I invite you to do that, because as we begin to dive into manifesting, we get to claim our experience here on planet Earth. We get to begin to be what we see. And we be it by identifying the human footsteps of that individual, of our future self, if you will, that which we want to see come to fruition. And we begin to ask and inquire, what is that individual doing as far as their day in and day out footsteps? What are they dressing like? What are they doing from the time that they wake up to the time that they go to bed? And we begin to source that information, and we become aware of that. And now we become mindful. We become mindful of what I'm doing now in this moment. Am I actually clothing myself as that individual? Am I clothing myself as the person that is experiencing that? And if I'm not, then I'm making a choice not to, right? And if I'm become aware, oh, I'm not doing that, well, guess what? Right now I get to choose again. Right now I get to begin to take inspired action to move in the direction of that which I'm becoming, right? And as I do that, I begin to fire. I begin to fire at a cellular level. I begin to fire new neural pathways. I begin to fire the spirit of life moving in that direction. And what do we know about spirit? Spirit's moving into time literally at the speed of light, which is so fast that we can't even really fathom that. But basically, that means now, like right now. Like right now, it is absolutely firing as what we're experiencing in this moment. And that is something to behold. That is something to give thanks for. Like, I am absolutely thankful for the algorithms that brought us together. I'm thankful for the algorithms that are bringing this live video feed to you at this very moment. I'm thankful to be sitting here in this amazing sanctuary that Dr. Ali has set the stage for me to sit in, that we have been co-creating together for years, because everywhere we are, we always have an altar. We always have a sacred place to do our meditation, to do our journaling, to do our thinking, that when we come into this room, we absolutely step into being mindful, into the awareness of expansion evolving through us. And so this space that I'm sitting in right now is sacred and holy. And the other thing is, I just used the word holy. The other thing that we want is to be absolutely mindful and mindfully aware that this essence of life, that this life force energy, that this divine life essence is absolutely whole. And what do I mean by absolute? I mean unequivocally. I mean without exception. I mean nothing is disturbing ultimate reality. And ultimate reality is that the divine presence of life, the God life, is whole. It is divinely perfect, and that it is always on and never off, and that it is absolutely infinite, and that it's bursting into time, that it has everything that is required to take the next evolutionary step in the unfoldment of life. As we are sitting here today on the 24th of March, and we're moving into the spring equinox. And what is spring? Spring is an opportunity for us to begin to see and to realize, by realizing with the truth of our being, that life is springing, new life is springing, all forms of new life is springing abundantly and copious amounts of it. So we see the grass growing, we see the leaves beginning to bud and to expand. We begin to see insects flying around and pollinating everything that there is. And I invite you to begin to experience the abundant nature of the universe, so that when you sit in the presence, with the presence and the holiness and the wholeness of the now moment, you're coming mindfully, feeling and believing in an absolute explosion of potentiality that is infinite and eternal. And that when you become mindful of that in this moment, then we begin to be aware that right where I'm sitting, I'm in the creative space always, which is always on and never off. And it's always moving. It's always evolving. It's always expanding. And so now that I'm mindful about that, I get to be consciously aware that thoughts that I'm having are moving into the spiritual essence, the spiritual law of creation is in effect. And as I'm doing that, as I'm aware of that, I feel a particular enthusiasm activated for being and experiencing wholeness and prosperity and abundance. And I know that the ever expanding good is moving through me, and it's changing, it's moving into that space of freedom, of wholeness, of ever expanding good, that there's plenty to share and to spare in this moment, in every moment, always and in all ways. And as I'm moving and I'm ruminating and I'm literally having a tryst with this ever expanding good, it moves through me as this moment. And then as I begin to take my human footsteps moving into time, and I start to see things showing up that are exactly in alignment with this, now I can begin to praise it. I begin to say, thank you. Thank you for moving forward and becoming as that. Thank you for the telephone call for this. Thank you for the invitation to experience that. Thank you. I see you, presence of life. I see you, divine essence, moving and supporting me as you always have. I see you moving and supporting me as you always do, as you're always evolving and expanding into that greater good for me. I begin to have a complete buy-in into the awareness that this divine essence, this life is for me, never against me, always on, always for me. It's for you, it's for me, it's for your neighbor, it's for your children, it's for everybody. That I get to bless everybody that I meet and everybody I see, and I get to celebrate their experience, for I know that they are experiencing their thoughts, which have manifest into time as that. And if they want to, and as they choose to change it, it will begin to change. And I celebrate that with them. And if they don't want it to change, and if you don't want it to change, then continue to think the exact same thoughts that you always have. Right? What we know is through quantum physics, what we know through Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Greg Braden and all of the beautiful teachers that we work with each and every day as we begin to read and tune in, is they begin to explain to us that there's hard and fast data that shows that by and large, the majority of us are carrying unconsciously 90% of yesterday into today. Now, the question that I'm asking you is, in that 90% that you're carrying from yesterday or last year or the year before, or traumatic experiences in your childhood upbringing, do you really want to carry that into today? Do you want those things to continue to show up again and again and again? Well, being mindful of the spiritual law of creation, which is right where you are, always and in all ways, never on and never off. You get to choose as to whether or not you want to continue to bring those thoughts into today. Or you get to lovingly let them go. And you can say, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to learn that countless times over and over. Oh my gosh, why have I continued to let myself do that? I have no idea. But right now, at this moment, I'm choosing something new. I'm mindfully aware that I'm in the creative medium. This is not optional. That right where I am, it's moving into time. And so I'm going to choose to move my thoughts to be in alignment with that vision that I've had. My vision is consistent with my desire. And as I become mindfully in alignment with that, I now begin to feel an elevation, an elevated vibration. And as I'm feeling that elevated vibration, I know that I'm in the creative force, and it feels effortless. It feels really good in this very moment. It feels really good. Commonly throughout the day, I invite you to take a few minutes to check in with yourself, to snap into attention mindfully, knowing that you have a particular vision that you're moving towards, that you have a particular vision that you're opening to, and that you're constantly visioning that, and that you give yourself permission for that vision to grow and to continue to expand. Now you get to begin to meditate, to breathe into that. Yes, I'm congruent. Yes, I'm on purpose. Yes, I see it. Yes, I choose to eat in a particular way, or I choose to act in a particular way, or I choose to dress in a particular way that is consistent with that which I'm becoming. Yes? This is the key to building that momentum, to building that momentum. The art of letting go. The art of letting go is that you get to know that you always have been doing the best that you could with what you had to work with, as have others, those perhaps that may have inadvertently affected you in some negative way. Perhaps you find yourself carrying with some resentment or anger or post-traumatic stress disorder, which creates some anxiety or something of that nature. But when that begins to well up within you, there is an invitation right there for you to become aware of your thoughts, that you have dominion over your thoughts, and that you get to begin to choose anew, that you get to begin to choose to elevate, to become congruent with that which you're holding: freedom, prosperity, creativity, whatever that is. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want you to know that we have practitioners that are here and available for you, that you are never alone, that we have a number of countless individuals that we can sit with, that will sit with you wherever you're at, to meet you there and to help you move in the direction, to help go deeper and to grow deeper into your own thought process. We, all you have to do is strike an inquiry. We have coaches, we have mentors, we have prayer practitioners, we have emergency responders that will be with you, that will sit with your loved ones wherever you are, and we will help you move in the direction that you want to grow. So, I want to close in a little prayer and a little meditation, And I just invite you to take a breath and just give thanks and praise for your awareness that right where you sit, the divine essence is, that it's coming into time through you and as you, and that it's constantly evolving and churning and growing and expanding, and that it is for good. That the good that it experiences is an ever expanding good because it's experiencing itself as that and that and that. We get to love it. Thank you. Thank you. We let it go and we allow it to be. And so thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you very much for your continued financial offerings to the Satya community via Venmo, Satya Center, Ogden, Utah. Thank you very much. We give great thanks and praise. We know today was good and so very good. And so it is. Peace and blessings to you. Have a great day. I love you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.